Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Relaxing English Listening. I'm so happy you're here today. Before we begin, I want you to take a slow breath, relax your shoulders, and let go of the idea that you need perfect English. You don't need perfect grammar. You don't need a huge vocabulary. You don't need to sound like a native speaker overnight. What you need is something much simpler. You need English that feels natural. English that you can actually use. English that comes to your mind when you need it. Because maybe you've experienced this before. You study English for months. Maybe even years. You know hundreds of words. You understand grammar rules. You can read articles. You can watch videos. But when someone suddenly asks you a simple question, your mind goes blank. You know the words, but they don't come out naturally. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. And that's exactly why we're here today. In this lesson, we're going to focus on the kind of English people use every single day. Not textbook English. Not classroom English. Real English. The kind of English people use while making coffee, getting dressed, answering messages, talking to friends, and getting ready for work. By the end of this lesson, you'll have several natural phrases that you can start using immediately. You'll hear them. You'll repeat them. You'll understand how they work. And most importantly, you'll start feeling them. Because fluency begins when English becomes a feeling, not a translation exercise. And if you're enjoying these daily lessons, make sure you're subscribed to Relaxing English Listening so you never miss another opportunity to improve your English naturally. All right. Let's begin our day together. Imagine you are waking up on a quiet morning. The sun is coming through the window. Your alarm has just stopped ringing. You slowly open your eyes. Maybe you're still a little sleepy. Maybe you don't feel fully awake yet. And here's something interesting. Many English learners would say, "I'm tired." That's correct. But native speakers often use something softer and more natural. They say, "I'm still waking up." Listen again. I'm still waking up. This phrase doesn't mean you're sleeping. It means your body and mind are still adjusting to the day. Let's practice together. Repeat after me slowly. I'm still waking up. Again. I'm still waking up. One more time. I'm still waking up. Excellent. Now say it more naturally. I'm still waking up. Very good. Now try it with a sleepy morning feeling. I'm still waking up. Perfect. Notice how natural that sounds. Most native speakers use phrases like this because they're describing a real experience, not just stating a fact. Let's make it even more natural. Imagine your roommate walks into the kitchen. They smile and say, "Morning. How are you?" You don't say, "I'm tired." Instead, you smile and answer, "I'm still waking up." That's something you'll hear every day. Let's continue. Imagine you're standing in your kitchen. The house is quiet. You look toward the coffee machine. And suddenly, one thought enters your mind. You need coffee. A very common phrase people use is, "I could use some coffee." Listen carefully. I could use some coffee. This doesn't literally mean you are using coffee. It means coffee would be helpful right now. Coffee sounds like a good idea. Repeat after me. I could use some coffee. Again. I could use some coffee. Now, a little more naturally. I could use some coffee. Good. Now add a tired morning voice. Honestly. I could use some coffee. Excellent. Native speakers say this all the time. Not only with coffee. You can say, "I could use some rest." "I could use a vacation." I could use a break. I could use some help. Let's practice one. I could use a break. Again. I could use a break. Very natural. Now imagine a short conversation. Your friend sends you a message at 7 in the morning. Are you awake? You reply, barely. I could use some coffee. That sounds real. That sounds natural. And most importantly, it sounds human. Let's keep going. A few minutes later, you're getting ready for the day. You check the time. You look at your phone. And suddenly, you realize something. You're late. Or maybe not very late. Just a little late. Instead of saying, I am late. Many native speakers say, I'm running a little late. Listen carefully. I'm running a little late. Repeat after me. I'm running a little late. Again. I'm running a little late. Now faster. I'm running a little late. Excellent. This phrase is extremely common. You'll hear it in offices, schools, meetings, phone calls, everyday life. Let's practice it in context. Your friend texts you. Are you almost here? You reply. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm running a little late. Very natural. Notice how soft it sounds. It's less direct, less harsh, and much more conversational. Now, let's combine the phrases we've learned. Listen to this short morning story. I woke up a little later than usual. I'm still waking up. Honestly, I could use some coffee. And now I'm running a little late. Can you hear the rhythm? These are not difficult words. But together they sound natural and fluent. That's the secret. Fluency is not always about advanced vocabulary. It's often about using simple phrases naturally. Take a slow breath. And repeat the story with me. I'm still waking up. I could use some coffee. I'm running a little late. Excellent. You're doing great. And here's something important. Every sentence you repeat is helping your brain build English patterns. You're not memorizing random words. You're training your brain to think in English chunks. That's exactly how fluent speakers process language. Let's explore another phrase. Imagine you're getting dressed. Someone asks you a question. Maybe your partner. Maybe your roommate. Maybe a friend calling you. But you're busy. You need a moment. Instead of saying, wait, you can say, give me a second. Listen again. Give me a second. Repeat after me. Give me a second. Again. Give me a second. Now naturally. Give me a second. Perfect. This phrase is everywhere. People use it constantly. Let's practice. Your friend asks, can you help me with something? You answer, sure. Give me a second. Natural. Friendly. Easy. Now let's make it even better. Imagine you're searching for your keys before leaving the house. Your friend asks, ready? You say, almost. Give me a second. That sounds exactly like real-life English. And here's something many learners don't notice. Native speakers rarely speak in perfect, complete sentences. They often speak in short, natural chunks. Give me a second. Be right there. Coming. Almost ready. No worries. That's why these small phrases are so powerful. Let's continue our morning. You've found your keys. You've finished your coffee. You're almost ready to leave. But first, you need to prepare yourself mentally. A very useful phrase is, let me get ready. Repeat after me. Let me get ready. Again. Let me get ready. Now naturally. Let me get ready. Very good. Let's place it inside a conversation. Someone says, "Want to leave now?" You answer, "Give me a minute. Let me get ready." Simple, natural, real. Now listen to this complete mini conversation. Roommate. Morning. How are you? You. I'm still waking up. Roommate. Want some coffee? You. Honestly, I could use some coffee. Roommate. We should leave soon. You. Yeah. I know. I'm running a little late. Roommate. Ready. You. Almost. Give me a second. Let me get ready. Notice how smooth that sounds. Every phrase connects naturally. No complicated grammar. No difficult vocabulary. Just real English. And this is exactly how fluency begins. Not with big words. Not with perfect grammar. But with small, useful phrases that appear again and again in real life. Take a moment now. Think about your own morning. What time did you wake up? Did you drink coffee? Were you in a hurry? Did you feel tired? Now it's your turn. Try saying one sentence about your morning, using one of today's phrases. Maybe. I'm still waking up. Maybe. I could use some coffee. Maybe. I'm running a little late. Say it quietly to yourself. Excellent. That small moment matters more than you think. Because every time you create your own sentence, English becomes a little more personal, a little more automatic, a little more natural. And something interesting happens. You stop studying English, and you start using English. That's a huge difference. As we continue, you'll discover even more everyday phrases that native speakers use without thinking. Some of them might surprise you. Some of them will instantly sound familiar. And some will make you realize that fluent English is often much simpler than you imagined. Our day is only beginning. The front door is opening. The city is waking up. And in the next part, we'll step into one of the most common places for real-life English conversations. A busy coffee shop where simple phrases can instantly make you sound more natural and more confident. The front door closes behind you. The morning air feels fresh. The streets are slowly becoming busier. People are walking to work. Cars are moving through the city. Some people look energetic. Others still look half asleep. And maybe you're somewhere in the middle. You're awake now, but not fully ready for the day. As you walk down the street, you notice a coffee shop on the corner. Warm lights glow through the windows. You can hear quiet music playing inside. The smell of fresh coffee fills the air. Without even thinking about it, you pull open the door and step inside. This is one of the best places to practice real English. Because coffee shops are full of natural conversations, simple conversations, useful conversations, the kind you'll hear every day. And today, you're going to learn exactly how native speakers communicate in these situations. As you enter, the barista smiles and says, "Good morning. What can I get for you?" This is your first opportunity. Many English learners immediately think, "Coffee, please." And yes, that's understandable. People will understand you. But native speakers usually use something softer. Something more natural. Something you'll hear all the time. They say, "Could I get a large iced coffee?" Listen carefully. Could I get a large iced coffee? Repeat after me slowly. Could I get a large iced coffee? Again. Could I get a large iced coffee? Now say it more naturally. Could I get a large iced coffee? Excellent. Notice how smooth that sounds. Could I get is one of the most common phrases in everyday English. You can use it almost anywhere. Could I get a bottle of water? Could I get a sandwich? Could I get a receipt? Could I get some help? This next phrase is extremely common, and once you start noticing it, you'll hear it everywhere. Let's practice. Could I get a coffee? Could I get a bottle of water? Could I get some extra napkins? Very good. Now imagine you're standing at the counter. The barista asks, "What can I get started for you today?" You smile and answer, "Could I get a medium latte? Please." Natural. Friendly. Confident. Now, let's make it even more conversational. Sometimes, native speakers say, "I'll have." Listen carefully. I'll have a cappuccino. Repeat after me. I'll have a cappuccino. Again. I'll have a cappuccino. Now naturally. I'll have a cappuccino. Excellent. This phrase is incredibly useful when you're ordering food, when you're ordering drinks, when you're choosing something from a menu. Instead of saying, "I want," you can say, "I'll have." Listen to these examples. I'll have the chicken sandwich. I'll have a black coffee. I'll have the soup. I'll have the same thing. Very natural. Very common. Let's try a quick conversation. Barista. What would you like? You. I'll have a cappuccino. Please. Barista. Anything else? You. No. That's all for now. Beautiful. Now let's focus on that last phrase. That's all for now. Listen carefully. That's all for now. Repeat after me. That's all for now. Again. That's all for now. Now, naturally. That's all for now. Excellent. This is something native speakers say constantly. It's polite. It's relaxed. And it sounds much better than simply saying, "No." Imagine this situation. You've ordered your drink. The cashier asks, "Anything else?" You answer, "No thanks. That's all for now." Perfect. That's real-life English. Let's continue. A few minutes later. You're waiting for your coffee. The shop is getting busier. People are talking. Someone is working on a laptop. A group of friends is laughing near the window. And you overhear a conversation. One friend says, "I finally finished that project." The other friend replies, "That sounds good." Listen carefully. That sounds good. Repeat after me. That sounds good. Again. That sounds good. Now naturally. That sounds good. Excellent. This phrase is everywhere. And here's something important. Many learners overuse good. Everything becomes good. Very good. Really good. But native speakers often use that sounds good. Sounds good. Looks good. Feels good. Those small changes make your English sound much more natural. Let's practice. Sounds good. Again. Sounds good. One more time. Sounds good. Notice how native speakers often drop the word that. Instead of that sounds good, they simply say, sounds good. Listen to this conversation. Friend. Let's grab lunch after work. You. Sounds good. Friend. How about 2 o'clock? You. Sounds good. Short. Natural. Fluent. Most learners sound too formal here. Native speakers usually keep it simple. Now let's imagine another situation. You're standing near the pickup counter waiting for your coffee. Suddenly, someone accidentally bumps into you. Not hard. Just enough to spill a few drops of coffee. they immediately say, "Sorry about that." And what do native speakers often reply? "No worries." Listen carefully. No worries. Repeat after me. No worries. Again. No worries. Now naturally. No worries. Excellent. This phrase is incredibly useful. You can use it almost every day. Someone apologizes. No worries. Someone arrives a few minutes late. No worries. Someone forgets something small. No worries. It's friendly, relaxed, and very common. Let's practice a quick exchange. Friend. Sorry I'm late. You. No worries. Friend. Sorry I forgot to text you. You. No worries. Notice how easy that feels. Small phrases. Big impact. Now let's move a little deeper. Imagine you've received your coffee. You find a seat near the window. You take your first sip. And immediately think, I needed this. Listen carefully. I needed this. Repeat after me. I needed this. Again. I needed this. Now naturally. I needed this. Excellent. This phrase carries emotion. It's not just about coffee. It's about relief, comfort, satisfaction. Maybe you've had a long morning. Maybe you've been rushing around. And finally, you sit down with your favorite drink. You take a sip and quietly say, I needed this. That's something you'll hear every day. Let's practice it with feeling. I needed this. Again. I needed this. Perfect. Feel the emotion behind the words. Because fluency isn't only vocabulary. It's emotion. It's rhythm. It's timing. Now, let's combine several phrases together. Listen to this natural conversation. Barista. Good morning. What can I get for you? Customer. Could I get a large iced latte? Please. Barista. Sure. Anything else? Customer. No thanks. That's all for now. Barista. That'll be ready in a few minutes. Customer. Sounds good. A few minutes later, friend arrives. Friend. Sorry I'm late. Customer. No worries. Friend. How's your morning going? Customer. Honestly, I was running a little late earlier. But this coffee helps. Friend. Good. Customer. Yeah. I needed this. Can you hear how natural that sounds? No complicated grammar. No difficult vocabulary. Just real conversation. And here's something exciting. You probably understood every sentence. Not because the English was easy, but because the English was useful. That's a huge difference. Useful English stays in your memory. Useful English becomes part of your life. Take a moment now. Close your eyes if you want. Imagine you're sitting in your favorite coffee shop. Imagine the sounds around you. The conversations. The music. The coffee machine. The smell of fresh coffee. Now, imagine yourself ordering confidently. No translating. No panic. No hesitation. Just speaking naturally. Could I get a latte? Please? Sounds good. No worries. I needed this. Can you feel it? That's what we're building. Not perfect English. Comfortable English. Natural English. The kind of English that feels like part of your day. Let's do one more speaking challenge together. Repeat these phrases one after another. Could I get a coffee? I'll have a cappuccino. That's all for now. Sounds good. No worries. I needed this. Excellent. You're doing something important right now. Every phrase you repeat is becoming easier. Every phrase is becoming more familiar. And little by little, your brain is beginning to recognize these patterns automatically. That's how real fluency grows. Not through pressure, not through memorizing giant word lists, but through repetition, context, emotion, and real-life situations. In a few moments, we'll leave the coffee shop behind and step into another everyday environment where natural English happens constantly. A place where people greet each other, discuss tasks, solve problems, and build relationships every day. And you'll discover that the English used there is often much simpler and much more natural than most learners expect. Let's keep going. The last sip of coffee is gone. The cup is nearly empty. Outside the window, the city feels fully awake now. People are moving faster. Phones are ringing. Meetings are starting. The relaxed atmosphere of the coffee shop slowly fades behind you as you step back onto the sidewalk. The workday is about to begin. For many English learners, this is where confidence disappears. You can order coffee. You can say hello. But work conversations often feel more difficult. Maybe you're afraid of sounding too simple. Maybe you're worried about making mistakes. Or maybe you're trying so hard to sound professional that your English starts sounding unnatural. The good news is that native speakers rarely use complicated English at work. In fact, most workplace conversations are built from simple phrases used again and again. Today, you're going to learn some of the most common ones. Imagine you walk into your office. Or maybe you log into a video meeting. You see your coworkers. Someone looks up and smiles. They don't usually say, "How are you on this fine morning?" They say something much simpler. Morning. Listen carefully. Morning. Repeat after me. Morning. Again. Morning. One more time. Morning. Simple. Right. But extremely common. Many learners expect full sentences. Native speakers often don't. In everyday office life, people shorten everything. Morning. Afternoon. Hey. How's it going? What's up? Let's continue. A coworker walks by your desk and says, "Morning. How's everything going?" Listen carefully. How's everything going? Repeat after me. How's everything going? Again. How's everything going? Now, naturally. How's everything going? Excellent. This phrase is everywhere. It doesn't necessarily mean the person wants a detailed report about your life. It's often a friendly way to connect. Now listen to a natural response. Pretty good. Repeat after me. Pretty good. Again. Pretty good. Now, naturally. Pretty good. Excellent. Notice how native speakers rarely answer, "I am very well today." That's correct English. But it sounds formal. Real people usually say, "Pretty good." "Not bad." "Doing well." "Can't complain." Let's practice a quick exchange. Coworker. Morning. How's everything going? To you. Pretty good. How about you? Natural. Easy. Useful. Now imagine you're sitting down at your desk. You turn on your computer. You open your email. And almost immediately, someone sends you a message. "Hey, can you help me with something later?" This is where another extremely common phrase appears. "Sure. I'll take care of it." Listen carefully. I'll take care of it. Repeat after me. I'll take care of it. Again. I'll take care of it. Now, naturally. I'll take care of it. Excellent. This phrase shows responsibility. It means, don't worry. I'll handle it. I'll do it. Native speakers use this all the time. Let's practice. Your manager says, "Can you send that report this afternoon?" You answer, "Absolutely. I'll take care of it." A coworker says, "Can you call the client?" You reply, "I'll take care of it." Simple, professional, natural. Now let's build something interesting. Many learners overuse one phrase. The phrase is, "Okay." Everything becomes okay. Can you do this? Okay. Can you help? Okay. Meeting at 2. Okay. Native speakers often replace it with something much more natural. They say, "Sounds good." Listen carefully. Sounds good. Repeat after me. Sounds good. Again. Sounds good. One more time. Sounds good. Excellent. Let's hear it in a work conversation. Manager. We'll discuss the project after lunch. You. Sounds good. Coworker. I'll send you the details later. You. Sounds good. Notice how friendly it sounds. Not too formal. Not too casual. Just natural. This next phrase is something you'll hear every single day in offices. Imagine someone walks over to your desk. They look at the clock. Then they smile and say, "Busy already." Listen carefully. Busy already. Repeat after me. Busy already. Again. Busy already. Now, naturally. Busy already. Excellent. This is a very common small talk question. And here's a natural response. Kind of. Listen carefully. Kind of. Repeat after me. Kind of. Again. Kind of. Now naturally. Kind of. Very good. Native speakers love this phrase. Instead of saying, "Yes," they often say, "Kind of." "A little." "Pretty much." "More or less." Let's practice. Coworker. Busy already. You. Kind of. It's been a busy morning. Natural. Comfortable. Real. Now imagine something else happens. You open your inbox. And suddenly, you notice 20 unread emails. Maybe more. You take a deep breath. And quietly say, "I've got a lot on my plate." Listen carefully. I've got a lot on my plate. Repeat after me. I've got a lot on my plate. Again. I've got a lot on my plate. Now, naturally. I've got a lot on my plate. Excellent. This is a wonderful phrase. And native speakers use it constantly. It means, I have a lot to do. I'm very busy. I have many responsibilities. Let's hear it in context. Coworker. Can you help with another project? You. I'd love to. But I've got a lot on my plate right now. Notice how much more natural that sounds than simply saying, "I'm busy." You're learning the English people actually use. And every phrase makes your English feel more alive. Now, let's create a mini office scene. Imagine it's 10 o'clock in the morning. People are working. Keyboards are clicking. Someone is talking quietly on the phone. You walk into a meeting room. A coworker smiles. "Morning." You smile back. "Morning." They ask, "How's everything going?" You answer, "Pretty good. How about you?" They laugh. "Busy already." You smile. "Kind of. I've got a lot on my plate today." They nod. "Can you review this file later?" You answer, "Sure. I'll take care of it." They smile. "Sounds good." Can you hear the rhythm? This is exactly how workplace English sounds. Short, friendly, efficient. No long speeches. No complicated vocabulary. Just useful communication. Let's take this one step deeper. Imagine you're in a team meeting. People are discussing ideas. Someone shares a suggestion. You agree. Instead of saying, yes. Try this. That's a good point. Listen carefully. That's a good point. Repeat after me. That's a good point. Again. That's a good point. Now, naturally. That's a good point. Excellent. This phrase is extremely common in professional English. It shows respect. It shows you're listening. And it sounds much more advanced than simply saying, yes. Let's practice. Coworker. We should start the project earlier. You. That's a good point. Manager. We need more customer feedback. You. That's a good point. Simple. Powerful. Natural. Now let's add another phrase. Imagine someone explains something complicated. And suddenly, you understand. Instead of saying, I understand. Native speakers often say, that makes sense. Listen carefully. That makes sense. Repeat after me. That makes sense. Again. That makes sense. Now, naturally. That makes sense. Excellent. You'll hear this phrase everywhere. Meetings. Phone calls. Emails. Conversations. Let's practice. Coworker. We moved the deadline because the client requested changes. You. That makes sense. Manager. We're focusing on quality before speed. You. That makes sense. Notice how natural that feels. Now let's pause for a moment. Take a slow breath. You've already learned several workplace phrases that native speakers use constantly. Morning. Pretty good. I'll take care of it. Sounds good? Kind of. I've got a lot on my plate. That's a good point. That makes sense. None of these are difficult. But together, they create natural workplace English. And here's something interesting. Most learners focus on rare vocabulary. Native speakers focus on useful vocabulary. That's why these phrases matter. You can use them today. Not someday. Today. Let's do a shadowing challenge. Repeat each phrase with confidence. Morning. Pretty good. I'll take care of it. Sounds good. Kind of. I've got a lot on my plate. That's a good point. That makes sense. Excellent. You're building something powerful. Not just vocabulary. Not just pronunciation. You're building automatic responses. The kind of English that appears without translation. The kind of English that feels natural. And that's exactly where fluency begins. Before we continue, think about your own workday. Or your studies. Or your daily responsibilities. What's one thing you have to do today? Try answering in English. Maybe. I've got a lot on my plate today. Maybe. I'll take care of it. Maybe. It's busy. But pretty good. Say it quietly to yourself. Very good. Every small sentence you create is training your brain to think directly in English. And that's much more valuable than memorizing hundreds of isolated words. As the morning continues, something unexpected is about to happen. A small problem. Nothing serious. But exactly the kind of situation that creates some of the most useful English phrases you'll ever learn. Because real life isn't always smooth. And neither is real conversation. In the next part, You'll discover how native speakers react when things go wrong. Stay calm under pressure and communicate naturally when unexpected problems appear. The morning is moving quickly now. Your coffee is long gone. Emails are arriving. Messages keep appearing. People are talking in meeting rooms. The office feels alive. For a while, everything seems to be going smoothly. Then something happens. Maybe your computer freezes. Maybe an important file won't open. Maybe the internet suddenly stops working. Maybe someone sends you a message saying a deadline has changed. Real life is full of moments like these. And surprisingly, these situations create some of the most useful English you'll ever learn. Because native speakers don't just learn English when things are easy. They use English when things go wrong. Imagine you're working on an important report. You've been focused for nearly an hour. Everything is going well. Then, suddenly, your screen freezes. Nothing moves. You click. Nothing happens. You wait. Still nothing. And almost automatically, you say, "Oh no." Listen carefully. "Oh no." Repeat after me. "Oh no." Again. "Oh no." Now say it naturally. "Oh no." Simple, but very real. Native speakers use small reactions like this constantly. Not because they're advanced. Because they're natural. Now imagine a coworker notices your frustration. They walk over and ask, "Everything okay?" And, instead of giving a long explanation, you might say, "My computer froze." Listen carefully. "My computer froze." Repeat after me. "My computer froze." Again. "My computer froze." Now naturally. "My computer froze." Excellent. This is exactly the kind of phrase people use every day. Notice something interesting. Many learners try to use complicated language. But native speakers often choose simple language. Short. Clear. Direct. Let's continue. Your coworker looks at the screen and says, "That's frustrating." Listen carefully. "That's frustrating." Repeat after me. "That's frustrating." Again. "That's frustrating." Now naturally. "That's frustrating." Excellent. This phrase is incredibly useful. You can use it in many situations. Your train is late. That's frustrating. Your phone battery dies. That's frustrating. Your package arrives damaged. That's frustrating. Someone cancels plans at the last minute. That's frustrating. Native speakers use emotional vocabulary like this constantly. It makes conversations feel human. Let's practice together. "That's frustrating." Again. "That's frustrating." Good. Now try saying it with real emotion. "That's frustrating." Perfect. Notice how fluency is not only about words. It's also about feeling. Now imagine you're worried. The report is important. The deadline is approaching. Your coworker notices you're stressed. They smile and say, "No worries." You've already learned this phrase, but now you're hearing it in a new context. Listen again. "No worries." Repeat after me. "No worries." Again. "No worries." Excellent. When people say, "No worries," they're often giving you emotional support. They're saying, "It's okay. We'll handle it. Don't panic." And that's exactly what happens next. Your coworker sits down beside you and says, "We'll figure it out." Listen carefully. "We'll figure it out." Repeat after me. "We'll figure it out." Again. "We'll figure it out." Now naturally. "We'll figure it out." Excellent. This phrase is extremely common. Native speakers use it all the time, especially when facing problems. Notice that it doesn't guarantee success. It simply communicates confidence. We'll find a solution. We'll solve it. We'll figure it out. Let's practice. The printer isn't working. We'll figure it out. The file is missing. We'll figure it out. The meeting changed unexpectedly. We'll figure it out. Very natural. Very useful. Now let's imagine another situation. Your manager sends a message. The client wants changes. The deadline moved forward. The project suddenly became more complicated. You take a deep breath. And maybe you say, "That's not ideal." Listen carefully. That's not ideal. Repeat after me. That's not ideal. Again. That's not ideal. Now naturally. That's not ideal. Excellent. This is one of the most common native speaker reactions. And here's something important. Many learners say, "This is very bad." Native speakers often soften negative situations. Instead of, "This is terrible," they might say, "That's not ideal." Listen again. That's not ideal. Professional. Calm. Natural. Let's practice. The meeting starts in 10 minutes. Your laptop battery is at 1%. That's not ideal. Your train is delayed. That's not ideal. You forgot your umbrella and it's raining. That's not ideal. Excellent. Now let's move deeper into real workplace English. Imagine, your coworker asks, "Do we have enough time to finish?" And you're not completely sure. Instead of saying, "I don't know. Try this." "I think so." Listen carefully. "I think so." Repeat after me. "I think so." Again. "I think so." Now naturally. "I think so." Excellent. Native speakers use this phrase constantly. It's soft, flexible, natural. It communicates uncertainty without sounding negative. Let's practice. Will the project be ready? I think so. Can we finish before lunch? I think so. Will everything work out? I think so. Beautiful. Now let's add another useful phrase. Imagine your coworker explains a possible solution. You listen carefully. And suddenly you understand. You say, "That could work." Listen carefully. "That could work." Repeat after me. "That could work." Again. "That could work." Now, naturally. "That could work." Excellent. This phrase appears in meetings everywhere. Someone suggests an idea. You don't fully commit, but you see potential. That could work. Very natural. Let's hear it in context. Coworker. What if we send the updated version tomorrow morning? You. That could work. Manager. What if we split the task between two teams? You. That could work. Simple. Professional. Real. Now let's build a complete workplace scene. Imagine you're sitting at your desk. The office is quiet. Then, suddenly your computer freezes. You sigh. Oh no. A coworker notices. Everything okay? You reply. My computer froze. They nod. That's frustrating. You smile weakly. Yeah. They lean over and take a look. No worries. We'll figure it out. You take a breath. Thanks. A few minutes later, your manager sends a message. The deadline has moved up. You read it and quietly say, "That's not ideal." Your coworker laughs. No. It's not. Then, they suggest a new plan. You listen. And, after a moment, you nod. That could work. Can you hear how natural this conversation sounds? Nothing complicated. Nothing academic. Just everyday English. This is the language people use when real life happens. And that's exactly the kind of English you want to learn. Because these are the moments that matter. Not perfect textbook examples. Real situations. Real emotions. Real communication. Take a moment now. Think about a recent problem you've had. Maybe something small. Maybe your internet stopped working. Maybe you lost something. Maybe you were running late. Maybe a plan changed unexpectedly. How would you describe it using today's phrases? Maybe. That's frustrating. Maybe. That's not ideal. Maybe. We'll figure it out. Try saying one sentence quietly to yourself. Excellent. You're doing something important. You're connecting English to your real experiences. And that's where true fluency begins. Not memorizing. Not translating. Connecting. Let's do a short shadowing exercise together. Repeat each phrase with confidence. My computer froze. That's frustrating. No worries. We'll figure it out. That's not ideal. I think so. That could work. Again. My computer froze. That's frustrating. No worries. We'll figure it out. That's not ideal. I think so. That could work. Excellent. Listen to how much more natural your English is becoming. You're not just learning vocabulary anymore. You're learning reactions, emotions, patterns, the rhythm native speakers use every day. And here's something interesting. The people who sound most fluent are not always the people with the biggest vocabulary. Often they're the people who know how to react naturally. When something good happens, when something unexpected happens, when something goes wrong, they have ready-made phrases waiting in their minds. And little by little, you're building that same ability. The pressure of the morning begins to fade. The problem gets solved. The report is sent. The meeting ends. You lean back in your chair for a moment. The stressful part of the morning is over. The atmosphere starts feeling lighter. People begin thinking about lunch. Conversations become more relaxed. The workday slows down just enough for something different to happen. And in the next part, you'll discover how native speakers connect, joke, and build relationships during one of the most social moments of the day. The lunch break. The tension of the morning is finally beginning to fade. The computer is working again. The report has been sent. The meeting is over. People are standing up from their desks. A few coworkers stretch their arms. Someone closes a laptop. Someone else checks the time and smiles. It's almost lunch. The energy in the office changes. Earlier, everyone was focused on tasks. Now conversations start appearing. The atmosphere feels lighter, more relaxed, more human. And this is where another kind of English appears. Not work English. Not presentation. English. Small talk. The kind of English people use to build relationships. The kind of English people use every day. Imagine you're walking toward the break room. You grab your lunch. A coworker sits down across from you. They smile and ask, "So, what have you been up to lately?" Listen carefully. What have you been up to? Repeat after me. What have you been up to? Again. What have you been up to? Now, naturally. What have you been up to? Excellent. This phrase is extremely common. Native speakers use it everywhere. It's a way of asking, "What's new? How have you been? What's been happening in your life?" Let's practice. What have you been up to? Again. What have you been up to? Perfect. Now imagine someone asks you that question. You don't need a long answer. You might simply say, not much. Listen carefully. Not much. Repeat after me. Not much. Again. Not much. Now naturally. Not much. Excellent. This tiny phrase appears everywhere. And here's something important. Many learners feel pressure to create long responses. Native speakers often don't. Sometimes a simple answer is enough. What have you been up to? Not much. How's your week going? Not much. Just work. Very natural. Very common. Now, let's make it a little more interesting. Imagine you've had a busy week. Nothing exciting happened. Everything feels familiar. Native speakers often say, same old. Same old. Listen carefully. Same old. Same old. Repeat after me. Same old. Same old. Again. Same old. Same old. Now, naturally. Same old. Same. Old. Excellent. This phrase means nothing new. Everything is pretty much the same. Let's hear it in a conversation. Coworker. What have you been up to? You. Honestly, same old. Same old. Coworker. Work. You. Pretty much. Now let's learn that next phrase. Pretty much. Listen carefully. Pretty much. Repeat after me. Pretty much. Again. Pretty much. Now naturally. Pretty much. Excellent. Native speakers love this phrase. Instead of saying, yes. Exactly. That's correct. They often say, pretty much. Let's practice. Was it busy this morning? Pretty much. Did you finish the project? Pretty much. Are you ready for the meeting? Pretty much. Simple. Natural. Very conversational. Now imagine lunch continues. People are talking about their weekends. One coworker says, I spent the whole weekend cleaning my apartment. Another laughs and says, sounds exciting. Notice the playful tone. The first coworker laughs and replies, yeah. Not exactly. Listen carefully. Not exactly. Repeat after me. Not exactly. Again. Not exactly. Now, naturally. Not exactly. Excellent. This phrase is useful when something is technically true, but not completely true. Let's practice. Was it fun? Not exactly. Was the meeting exciting? Not exactly. Did you enjoy waiting in traffic? Not exactly. Very natural. Native speakers use this constantly. Now let's move deeper into a real lunch conversation. Imagine you're sitting with two coworkers. The room is filled with conversation. Someone is heating food in the microwave. Someone is laughing near the coffee machine. The atmosphere feels relaxed. One coworker looks at you and says, you look tired. You smile. Instead of saying, I'm very tired. Try this. I'm kind of tired. Listen carefully. I'm kind of tired. Repeat after me. I'm kind of tired. Again. I'm kind of tired. Now naturally. I'm kind of tired. Excellent. Notice how soft this sounds. Native speakers often soften their statements. Instead of, I'm tired, they say, I'm kind of tired. Instead of, I'm busy, they say, I'm kind of busy. Instead of, I'm hungry, they say, I'm kind of hungry. These small changes make your English sound much more natural. Let's practice. I'm kind of tired. Again. I'm kind of tired. Very good. Now imagine another coworker asks, "How are things going?" You could answer, "Can't complain." Listen carefully. Can't complain. Repeat after me. Can't complain. Again. Can't complain. Now naturally. Can't complain. Excellent. This phrase is extremely common. And here's something interesting. It doesn't mean life is perfect. It means things are okay. Things could be worse. Stand shall 2-3. Everything is fine overall. Let's hear it naturally. How's everything going? Can't complain. How's work? Can't complain. How's life? Can't complain. Short. Friendly. Comfortable. Now let's build a complete lunch scene. Coworker. What have you been up to lately? You. Not much. Same old. Same old. Coworker. Still working on that project. You. Pretty much. Coworker. You look a little tired. You. Yeah. I'm kind of tired today. Coworker. Busy morning. You. Pretty much. Coworker. How are things overall? You. Can't complain. Listen to that rhythm. Nothing complicated. Nothing formal. Just real English. This is exactly how native speakers talk during lunch breaks. Let's continue. A few minutes later, another coworker joins the table. They sit down with a tray of food. Everyone starts talking about weekend plans. One person says, "I'm thinking about going hiking." Another says, "I'm staying home." Then someone turns to you. "What about you?" You think for a moment. And answer, "I haven't decided yet." Listen carefully. I haven't decided yet. Repeat after me. I haven't decided yet. Again. I haven't decided yet. Now naturally. I haven't decided yet. Excellent. This is a phrase you'll use all the time. People ask about plans. You aren't sure. I haven't decided yet. Simple. Useful. Natural. Let's practice. Are you going? I haven't decided yet. What are you doing this weekend? I haven't decided yet. Will you join us? I haven't decided yet. Perfect. Now notice something important. Almost every phrase you've learned today is something you could use immediately. Today. This afternoon. Right after this lesson. That's the power of practical English. It's not about rare vocabulary. It's about frequent vocabulary. The language people actually use. Take a moment now. Imagine you're sitting at that lunch table. People are talking casually. Nobody is speaking perfectly. Nobody is trying to sound impressive. They're simply communicating. That's what real fluency looks like. Relaxed communication. Not perfect communication. Let's do a shadowing exercise together. Repeat each phrase naturally. What have you been up to? Not much. Same old. Same. Old. Pretty much. Not exactly. I'm kind of tired. Can't complain. I haven't decided yet. Again. What have you been up to? Not much. Same old. Same old. Pretty much. Not exactly. I'm kind of tired. Can't complain. I haven't decided yet. Excellent. Listen to how conversational those phrases sound. You're beginning to build the same language patterns native speakers use every day. And every phrase you repeat becomes a little easier. A little faster. A little more automatic. That's progress. Hial progress. And here's something many learners never realize. Fluency isn't built during perfect moments. It's built during ordinary moments. Coffee breaks, lunch conversations, short chats in hallways, tiny interactions that happen hundreds of times every month. That's why these phrases matter so much. They're not special because they're advanced. They're special because they're useful. Before we leave lunch behind, think about your own life. What have you been up to lately? What would you answer? Maybe. Not much. Maybe. Pretty much work. Maybe. Same old. Same old. Maybe. I haven't decided yet. Create your own sentence now. Take a moment. Say it quietly. Excellent. That's how English becomes yours. Not by copying forever, but by connecting the language to your own experiences. The lunch break is slowly coming to an end. People begin standing up. Chairs slide across the floor. Coffee cups are thrown away. Conversations start fading. Everyone heads back toward their desks. The afternoon is about to begin. But before work fully takes over again, an unexpected phone call is about to arrive. And with it comes another group of phrases native speakers use every single day. Especially when technology, communication, and real life suddenly collide. The lunch break is over. The conversations slowly fade. People return to their desks. The office becomes quieter again. Not silent. Just focused. You sit down. Open your laptop. And take a sip of water. The afternoon stretches ahead of you. For a moment, everything feels calm. Then your phone rings. Or maybe a video call notification appears on your screen. Perhaps it's a client, a coworker, a friend, or someone you weren't expecting to hear from. And suddenly, you're in another one of the most common situations in everyday English. A phone conversation. For many learners, phone calls feel harder than face-to-face conversations. You can't see facial expressions. You can't read body language. You only have the voice. That's why native speakers rely heavily on simple, familiar phrases. And today, you're going to learn some of the most useful ones. Imagine your phone rings. You answer. The connection isn't perfect. The other person's voice sounds distant. Maybe there's background noise. Maybe they're walking outside. Maybe they're in a busy office. You lean forward slightly and ask, "Can you hear me?" Listen carefully. Can you hear me? Repeat after me. Can you hear me? Again. Can you hear me? Now, naturally. Can you hear me? Excellent. This phrase is extremely common. You'll hear it on business calls, video meetings, family calls, international calls, everywhere. Let's practice. Can you hear me? Again. Can you hear me? Perfect. Now imagine the other person replies, "Yeah, I can hear you." But a few seconds later, their voice starts cutting out. The sound becomes unclear. You hear only parts of sentences. This is where another useful phrase appears. You're breaking up. Listen carefully. You're breaking up. Repeat after me. You're breaking up. Again. You're breaking up. Now, naturally. You're breaking up. Excellent. This doesn't mean a relationship is ending. In phone English, it means the connection is bad. The sound is breaking apart. Let's hear it naturally. Friend. Hey. Can you hear me? You. Yeah. But. You're breaking up. Again. You're breaking up. This is something you'll hear every day. Especially during video meetings. Now imagine, the connection becomes worse. You miss several words. You try listening. Nothing helps. Finally, you say, "Sorry. I didn't catch that." Listen carefully. I didn't catch that. Repeat after me. I didn't catch that. Again. I didn't catch that. Now, naturally. I didn't catch that. Excellent. This phrase is incredibly important. Many learners say, "I don't understand." Sometimes, that's okay. But native speakers often use, "I didn't catch that." It sounds softer, friendlier, more natural. Let's practice. Could you repeat that? I didn't catch that. Sorry. I didn't catch that. Excellent. Notice how conversational that feels. Now let's continue. The connection is still unstable. The other person sounds frustrated. You decide. The easiest solution is to end the call and try again. You say, "Let me call you back." Listen carefully. Let me call you back. Repeat after me. Let me call you back. Again. Let me call you back. Now naturally. Let me call you back. Excellent. This phrase appears constantly in real life. The signal is bad. Let me call you back. You're entering a meeting. Let me call you back. Someone walks into your office. Let me call you back. Simple. Practical. Very useful. Now, imagine the connection improves. The conversation continues. The other person starts explaining something important. But suddenly, a coworker approaches your desk. You need a moment. You don't want to interrupt rudely. So you say, "Hold on a second." Listen carefully. Hold on a second. Repeat after me. Hold on a second. Again. Hold on a second. Now naturally. Hold on a second. Excellent. This phrase is everywhere. Native speakers use it constantly. Not only on the phone. In everyday conversations too. Let's practice. Hold on a second. Again. Hold on a second. Perfect. Imagine this conversation. Friend. So anyway, I was telling you about you. Hold on a second. Friend. Sure. Natural. Easy. Real. Now let's move into a different kind of phone conversation. Imagine you're talking to a coworker. You're discussing a project. Everything sounds good. Then the coworker asks, "Do you think we'll finish by Friday?" You're not completely certain. But you're optimistic. You answer, "I think we're on track." Listen carefully. We're on track. Repeat after me. We're on track. Again. We're on track. Now naturally. We're on track. Excellent. This phrase means things are progressing as planned. Everything is moving in the right direction. Let's practice. Are we ready for the deadline? We're on track. Will the project be finished? We're on track. Very professional. Very natural. Now imagine another situation. You're speaking with a friend instead of a coworker. The conversation becomes more personal. They ask, "How's everything going lately?" You pause for a moment. Then answer, "Things have been pretty busy." Listen carefully. Things have been pretty busy. Repeat after me. Things have been pretty busy. Again. Things have been pretty busy. Now naturally. Things have been pretty busy. Excellent. This is an extremely common response. Notice how natural it sounds. Not. My schedule has been exceptionally demanding. Just. Things have been pretty busy. That's the kind of English native speakers use every day. Now imagine your friend laughs. Yeah. Same here. Then they ask, have you had any time to relax? You think for a moment and answer, not really. Listen carefully. Not really. Repeat after me. Not really. Again. Not really. Now, naturally. Not really. Excellent. Native speakers use this phrase constantly. Did you sleep well? Not really. Did you finish everything? Not really. Did you enjoy the movie? Not really. It's short, flexible, very natural. Now let's build a complete phone conversation. Listen carefully. Phone rings. You answer. Hey. Friend. Hey. Can you hear me? You. Yeah. I can hear you. Friend. Good. A few seconds pass. The signal becomes weak. You say, you're breaking up. Friend. Really? You. Yeah. I didn't catch that. Friend. Sorry. You. No worries. The connection becomes worse. You smile and say, let me call you back. A few minutes later, the phone rings again. You answer. Friend. Can you hear me now? You. Much better. Friend. How have things been? You. Honestly, things have been pretty busy. Friend. Have you had any time to relax? You laugh. Not really. Can you hear how natural that sounds? This is real, conversational English. Not perfect. Not formal. Human. And that's exactly what makes it powerful. Take a slow breath. Think about the last phone call you had. Who was it with? A friend. A coworker. A family member. What phrases could you have used from today's lesson? Maybe. Can you hear me? Maybe. You're breaking up. Maybe. I didn't catch that. Maybe. Hold on a second. Maybe. Things have been pretty busy. Try creating one sentence in your mind. Excellent. That small exercise matters. Because every time you connect English to your own life, the language becomes easier to remember. And easier to use. Let's do a shadowing exercise together. Repeat after me naturally. Can you hear me? You're breaking up. I didn't catch that. Let me call you back. Hold on a second. We're on track. Things have been pretty busy. Not really. Again. Can you hear me? You're breaking up. I didn't catch that. Let me call you back. Hold on a second. We're on track. Things have been pretty busy. Not really. Excellent. Notice something important. At the beginning of this lesson, these phrases may have felt unfamiliar. Now they probably feel much more comfortable. That's how fluency develops. One useful phrase at a time. One conversation at a time. One small improvement at a time. And little by little, your brain stops translating. Instead, it starts recognizing patterns automatically. That's a breakthrough many learners never notice when it's happening. But it's happening. Right now. The afternoon continues. The phone call ends. You put your phone down. The remaining work gets finished. Emails are answered. Tasks are completed. Outside the office windows, the sunlight begins to soften. The busiest part of the day is behind you. People start looking at the clock. Some are already thinking about dinner. Others are making plans for the evening. The workday is slowly coming to an end. And in the next part, you'll step into another everyday situation where some of the most natural and emotional English appears. The moment when work is over. Energy is low. and people finally get a chance to relax with friends. The afternoon slowly fades into evening. The bright energy of the workday begins to soften. Computer screens are shutting down. People are saving files. The last emails are being sent. Some coworkers are already gathering their things. A few are checking the weather. Others are making plans for dinner. The pressure that filled the office just a few hours ago is disappearing. And something else is taking its place. Relief? You lean back in your chair and stretch. The day wasn't perfect. There were problems. Unexpected phone calls. Deadlines. Technical issues. But somehow you made it through. And that's exactly the kind of moment where native speakers use some of the most common English phrases you'll ever hear. Imagine you're walking toward the elevator with a coworker. Ever hear? Imagine you're walking toward the elevator with a coworker. Neither of you is in a hurry anymore. The workday is over. Your coworker smiles and asks, "Long day." Listen carefully. Long day. Repeat after me. Long day. Again. Long day. Now, naturally. Long day. Excellent. Notice something interesting. This isn't even a complete sentence. The full sentence would be, "Did you have a long day?" But native speakers shorten it. All the time. Long day. Busy day. Good day. Rough day. Let's practice. Long day. Again. Long day. Perfect. Now imagine someone asks you that question. Instead of saying, "Yes, I worked many hours today," you might simply smile and answer, "Yeah, pretty long." Listen carefully. Pretty long. Repeat after me. Pretty long. Again. Pretty long. Now, naturally. Pretty long. Excellent. Simple. Natural. Very conversational. As the elevator reaches the ground floor, another coworker joins the conversation. They laugh and say, "You look exhausted." And this brings us to one of the most useful phrases of the entire lesson. Instead of saying, "I'm very tired," native speakers often say, "I'm exhausted." Listen carefully. I'm exhausted. Repeat after me. I'm exhausted. Again. I'm exhausted. Now, naturally. I'm exhausted. Excellent. This phrase carries stronger emotion, and you'll hear it constantly. After work, after travel, after a busy day, after exercise. Let's practice. I'm exhausted. Again. I'm exhausted. Now say it with real feeling. I'm exhausted. Perfect. Can you hear the difference? This is exactly how native speakers express tiredness. Not textbook English. Real English. Now imagine your friend sends you a message. "Want to grab something to eat?" Listen carefully. Grab something to eat. Repeat after me. Grab something to eat. Again. Grab something to eat. Now, naturally. Grab something to eat. Excellent. This phrase appears everywhere. Notice how native speakers often use the word grab. Grab coffee. Grab lunch. Grab dinner. Grab a drink. It doesn't literally mean physically grabbing something. It simply means going to get it. Let's practice. Let's grab lunch. Let's grab dinner. Let's grab a coffee. Excellent. Now imagine you meet your friend at a small restaurant after work. The atmosphere is completely different from the office. Music is playing quietly. People are talking and laughing. The stress of the day is gone. You sit down and finally relax. Your friend looks at you and asks, "How was your day?" You take a breath and answer, "It was a lot." Listen carefully. It was a lot. Repeat after me. It was a lot. Again. It was a lot. Now naturally. It was a lot. Excellent. This phrase has become extremely common, and native speakers use it constantly. Instead of describing every detail, they simply say, "It was a lot," meaning, there was a lot happening. It was stressful. It was overwhelming. It was busy. Let's practice. How was work? It was a lot. How was your week? It was a lot. How was the meeting? It was a lot. Very natural. Now, imagine your friend nods. They completely understand, and they respond with another useful phrase. I hear you. Listen carefully. I hear you. Repeat after me. I hear you. Again. I hear you. Now naturally. I hear you. Excellent. This phrase doesn't mean you're physically hearing someone. It means, I understand. I can relate. I know what you mean. Let's practice. I've been stressed lately. I hear you. Work has been crazy. I hear you. I've barely had time to relax. I hear you. This is a wonderful phrase for building connection. And that's exactly what evening conversations are often about. Connection. Not information. Connection. Now imagine your food arrives. You take the first bite. And immediately, think, I needed this. You've heard this phrase before, but now it carries a different feeling. Earlier it was coffee. Now it's a relaxing meal, after a long day. Listen again. I needed this. Repeat after me. I needed this. Again. I needed this. Excellent. Notice how the same phrase can appear in different situations. That's how real language works. Now let's continue the conversation. Your friend asks, got any plans tonight? You think for a moment. Then smile. Honestly, I'm probably going to take it easy. Listen carefully. Take it easy. Repeat after me. Take it easy. Again. Take it easy. Now naturally. Take it easy. Excellent. This phrase is extremely common. It means relax. Rest. Don't do anything stressful. Let's practice. What are you doing tonight? I'm taking it easy. Big weekend plans? No. Just taking it easy. Perfect. Now let's add another phrase. Imagine your friend starts telling a funny story. You laugh. The conversation becomes lighter, more relaxed. And at some point you say, that reminds me. Listen carefully. That reminds me. Repeat after me. That reminds me. Again. That reminds me. Now naturally. That reminds me. Excellent. Native speakers use this phrase all the time to change topics naturally. Listen to an example. Friend. I saw an old coworker today. You. That reminds me. I ran into an old friend last week. Very natural. Very smooth. Now, let's build a complete after-work conversation. Friend. Long day. You. Yeah. Pretty long. Friend. You look exhausted. You laugh. I am exhausted. Friend. Want to grab something to eat. You. Absolutely. A little later. Friend. So. How was your day? You. Honestly, it was a lot. Friend. I hear you. You. We had deadlines. Meetings. Phone calls. Everything at once. Friend. Sounds stressful. You. Yeah. But this food helps. You take a bite. I needed this. Friend. Any plans tonight? You smile. I'm probably going to take it easy. Friend. Sounds like a good idea. Can you hear how natural this conversation sounds? This is the kind of English people use every day. Short sentences. Natural reactions. Emotional vocabulary. Real communication. Not perfect grammar. Real life. Take a moment now. Think about your own day. Was it busy? Was it stressful? Was it relaxing? How would you answer using today's phrases? Maybe. It was a lot. Maybe. I'm exhausted. Maybe. I needed this. Maybe. I'm going to take it easy tonight. Create one sentence now. Say it quietly. Excellent. That's where real progress happens. Not just repeating. Creating. Connecting. Making the language your own? Let's do a shadowing exercise together. Repeat after me. Long day. Pretty long. I'm exhausted. Let's grab something to eat. It was a lot. I hear you. I needed this. Take it easy. That reminds me. Again. Long day. Pretty long. I'm exhausted. Let's grab something to eat. It was a lot. I hear you. I needed this. Take it easy. That reminds me. Excellent. Listen to how natural those phrases feel. You're beginning to sound less like a student and more like someone participating in real conversations. And that's an important shift. You're not just learning English anymore. You're starting to live inside English. One conversation at a time. One phrase at a time. One ordinary moment at a time. Outside. The evening sky grows darker. People are heading home. Restaurants are filling up. The city is changing energy again. But the day still has a few surprises left. Because sometimes, the most interesting conversations happen when you least expect them. And in the next part, you'll step into another everyday situation where confidence, encouragement, and natural English come together in a completely different environment. A place where people challenge themselves, support each other, and talk about progress, one small step at a time. The restaurant slowly becomes quieter. Dinner is almost finished. The stress of the day feels far away now. You leave the table feeling lighter. The air outside is cooler. The city lights are beginning to glow. Cars pass by. People walk home. Some are heading to restaurants. Others are meeting friends. And some are going somewhere else entirely. Somewhere that has nothing to do with work. Somewhere focused on progress. Movement. Energy. Growth. Imagine you're walking into a gym. Or maybe a fitness class. Perhaps it's a yoga studio. Maybe it's a community sports center. The exact place doesn't matter. What matters is the feeling. People are there for one reason. To improve. Little by little. And surprisingly, that's very similar to learning English. Nobody becomes stronger overnight. Nobody becomes fluent overnight. Both require consistency. Small effort. Repeated practice. One step at a time. As you walk inside, you hear music playing softly. People are exercising. Some are beginners. Some are experienced. Everyone is focused on their own progress. And this environment creates another set of English phrases that native speakers use all the time. Imagine you're checking in at the front desk. The employee smiles and says, "How's it going?" You've heard similar phrases before. But this time, your answer feels different. You smile and say, "Pretty good?" Listen carefully. Pretty good. Repeat after me. Pretty good. Again. Pretty good. Now naturally. Pretty good. Excellent. Notice how often native speakers use this phrase. Not amazing. Not terrible. Just pretty good. Simple. Comfortable. Natural. As you enter the gym, you see a friend. They wave. You walk over. They ask. Ready for a workout. You smile. And answer. Let's do it. Listen carefully. Let's do it. Repeat after me. Let's do it. Again. Let's do it. Now naturally. Let's do it. Excellent. This phrase appears everywhere. Sports. Work. Life. Challenges. Whenever someone is ready to begin something, they often say, let's do it. Let's practice. Ready. Let's do it. Want to start. Let's do it. Simple. Confident. Natural. Now, imagine you're exercising. Maybe you're walking on a treadmill. Maybe you're lifting weights. Maybe you're stretching. After a few minutes, you start feeling tired. Your friend notices, but instead of criticizing you, they smile and say, keep it up. Listen carefully. Keep it up. Repeat after me. Keep it up. Again. Keep it up. Now naturally. Keep it up. Excellent. This phrase is incredibly common. Native speakers use it whenever they want to encourage someone. Keep studying. Keep practicing. Keep working. Keep going. Keep it up. Let's practice. Keep it up. Again. Keep it up. Excellent. Now think about your English journey. Maybe you've been studying for months. Maybe years. Sometimes progress feels slow. Sometimes it feels invisible. But every phrase you've practiced today matters. Every sentence. Every repetition. Every moment. You're building something. And if a native speaker could see your effort right now, they might say, keep it up. That's exactly the phrase you deserve to hear. Now imagine your workout continues. You finish a difficult exercise. You're breathing harder. Your friend smiles and says, you're doing great. Listen carefully. You're doing great. Repeat after me. You're doing great. Again. You're doing great. Now naturally. You're doing great. Excellent. This is another phrase you'll hear constantly. Teachers use it. Friends use it. Coaches use it. Parents use it. It's simple encouragement. Let's practice. You're doing great. Again. You're doing great. One more time. You're doing great. Excellent. And here's something important. Take a moment to hear those words for yourself. You're doing great. Not perfect. Not finished. But improving. That's enough. That's how progress works. Now imagine you're resting between exercises. You sit down for a moment. You take a sip of water. And your friend says, you know, progress takes time. Then they add, one step at a time. Listen carefully. One step at a time. Repeat after me. One step at a time. Again. One step at a time. Now naturally. One step at a time. Excellent. This phrase is powerful because it applies to everything. Fitness. Work. Relationships. English. Anything worth improving. Let's practice. One step at a time. Again. One step at a time. Perfect. Notice the feeling behind the words. Calm. Patient. Steady. That's how real improvement happens. Not through pressure. Through consistency. Now imagine another person nearby is trying a difficult exercise. They're struggling a little. They stop. Take a breath. Then try again. Your friend watches and quietly says, "That's what matters." Listen carefully. That's what matters. Repeat after me. That's what matters. Again. That's what matters. Now naturally. That's what matters. Excellent. Native speakers often use this phrase when focusing on what's important. Not perfection. Not speed. Effort. In persistence. Growth. Let's hear it in context. You didn't finish everything today. That's okay. You showed up. That's what matters. You made a mistake. But you learned something. That's what matters. You practiced English today. That's what matters. Beautiful. Now let's build a small conversation. Friend. How are you feeling? You. A little tired. Friend. That's normal. You. Some days I feel like I'm not making progress. Friend. Trust me. You are. You. Really? Friend. Absolutely. Keep it up. You smile. Friend. You're doing great. You laugh. I'm trying. Friend. One step at a time. You nod. Yeah. Friend. That's what matters. Can you feel the emotional difference in this conversation? It's not about information. It's about encouragement. And native speakers use these kinds of conversations every day. Now, let's learn another useful phrase. Imagine you've just completed your workout. You finished the final exercise. You're tired. But you're proud of yourself. You smile and say, "Worth it." Listen carefully. Worth it. Repeat after me. Worth it. Again. Worth it. Now, naturally. Worth it. Excellent. This phrase is short, but powerful. It means, the effort was valuable. The result was worth the work. Let's practice. The workout was hard. Worth it. The project took weeks. Worth it. Studying English every day. Worth it. Beautiful. Now take a moment. Think about your own English learning journey. Maybe you've had days when you felt motivated. Maybe you've had days when you felt frustrated. Maybe you've wondered if you're improving. The answer is yes. Maybe not dramatically. Maybe not instantly. But improvement rarely happens instantly. It happens quietly. Just like physical training. One phrase at a time. One lesson at a time. One conversation at a time. That's why you're here. And that's why these lessons matter. Because every time you repeat a phrase, naturally, you're training your brain. Not to memorize English, but to use English. And that's a very different goal. Let's do a shadowing exercise together. Repeat after me. Let's do it. Keep it up. You're doing great. One step at a time. That's what matters. Worth it. Again. Let's do it. Keep it up. You're doing great. One step at a time. That's what matters. Worth it. Excellent. Listen to those phrases. They're simple. But they're full of life. They're the kinds of things people say every day. To friends. To family. To coworkers. To themselves. And maybe that's the most important part. Sometimes, the person who needs encouragement most is you. Sometimes, you need to hear. Keep it up. You're doing great. One step at a time. Because learning a language isn't just about vocabulary. It's about confidence, persistence, patience, and showing up again tomorrow. The workout is over now. People begin leaving the gym. Some head home. Others stop to chat. The night air feels calm. You grab your bag and head outside. The city is glowing with evening lights. And just when you think the day is slowing down, something unexpected happens. Across the street, you notice a familiar face. Someone you haven't seen in a very long time. And in the next part, you'll discover some of the most natural English phrases people use when reconnecting with old friends and sharing memories from the past. The gym doors close behind you. The workout is finished. Your muscles feel tired, but in a good way. The kind of tired that comes from doing something positive for yourself. The evening air feels cool. Streetlights reflect on the sidewalks. People are heading home. The city has entered a different rhythm now. Less rushed. Less focused on work. More personal. More social. You walk down the street, enjoying the calm moment after a busy day. Then something unexpected happens. Across the street, you notice someone familiar. At first, you're not completely sure. You look again. Wait a second. You know that face. It's someone you haven't seen in years. Maybe an old classmate. Maybe a former coworker. Maybe a childhood friend. For a moment, you're surprised. Then both of you smile at exactly the same time. And one of the most common phrases in English immediately appears. It's been ages. Listen carefully. It's been ages. Repeat after me. It's been ages. Again. It's been ages. Now naturally. It's been ages. Excellent. Native speakers use this phrase constantly when they haven't seen someone for a long time. It doesn't literally mean ages. It simply means a very long time. Let's practice. It's been ages. Again. It's been ages. Perfect. Now imagine your friend laughs and says, I know. It's been forever. Listen carefully. It's been forever. Repeat after me. It's been forever. Again. It's been forever. Now naturally. It's been forever. Excellent. This phrase carries the same feeling. And you'll hear both versions regularly. It's been ages. It's been forever. Both sound natural. Both sound friendly. Both instantly create connection. Now imagine, you step closer. You smile and say, It's so good to see you. Listen carefully. It's so good to see you. Repeat after me. It's so good to see you. Again. It's so good to see you. Now naturally. It's so good to see you. Excellent. Notice how warm this sounds. Not formal. Not dramatic. Just genuine. Native speakers use this phrase all the time, especially when reconnecting with people they care about. Now imagine your friend asks, What have you been up to? You've heard this phrase before, but now it feels different. Earlier it was workplace small talk. Now it's personal. Now it matters. You think for a moment. A lot has happened. But you don't want to tell your whole life story immediately. So you answer. A little bit of everything. Listen carefully. A little bit of everything. Repeat after me. A little bit of everything. Again. A little bit of everything. Now naturally. A little bit of everything. Excellent. This is a very common answer. It means many different things have been happening. Work. Family. Life. Travel. Projects. Everything mixed together. Let's practice. What have you been up to? A little bit of everything. Again. A little bit of everything. Very natural. The conversation continues. You start walking together. Maybe toward a coffee shop. Maybe toward a nearby park. The evening feels comfortable. Easy. Relaxed. Your friend suddenly says, "Remember when we used to stay up all night talking?" You immediately laugh and say, "Those were the days." Listen carefully. Those were the days. Repeat after me. Those were the days. Again. Those were the days. Now naturally. Those were the days. Excellent. This phrase is extremely common when talking about happy memories. It carries nostalgia, warmth, connection. Let's practice. Those were the days. Again. Those were the days. Perfect. Imagine your friend mentions an old story. Something funny that happened years ago. You laugh and say, "I can't believe that happened." Listen carefully. I can't believe that happened. Repeat after me. I can't believe that happened. Again. I can't believe that happened. Now naturally. I can't believe that happened. Excellent. Native speakers use this phrase constantly, especially when remembering surprising moments, funny moments, embarrassing moments, unexpected moments. Now imagine both of you continue talking. The conversation becomes more personal. Your friend asks, "So how have you really been?" Notice the word really. This question is deeper, more sincere. You pause and answer, "Honestly, I've been doing pretty well." Listen carefully. I've been doing pretty well. Repeat after me. I've been doing pretty well. Again. I've been doing pretty well. Now naturally. I've been doing pretty well. Excellent. This is one of the most natural responses in conversational English. Not amazing. Not perfect. Just pretty well. Balanced. Relaxed. Authentic. Now let's continue. Your friend smiles. I'm glad to hear that. Listen carefully. I'm glad to hear that. Repeat after me. I'm glad to hear that. Again. I'm glad to hear that. Now naturally. I'm glad to hear that. Excellent. This phrase appears everywhere in English. It's supportive, positive, friendly. Let's practice. I've been doing pretty well. I'm glad to hear that. I got the job. I'm glad to hear that. Everything worked out. I'm glad to hear that. Very natural. Now imagine the conversation shifts again. Your friend asks, "Do you ever miss those days?" You smile and answer, "Sometimes." Then you add, "But I like where I am now." Listen carefully. I like where I am now. Repeat after me. I like where I am now. Again. I like where I am now. Now naturally. I like where I am now. Excellent. This phrase is simple, but powerful. It shows gratitude, perspective, confidence, and native speakers often express ideas this way. Not with complicated language, but with honest language. Now imagine you're sitting together at a small outdoor cafe. The evening continues. People walk by. The conversation becomes lighter again. Your friend tells another funny story. You laugh and say, "No way." Listen carefully. No way. Repeat after me. No way. Again. No way. Now naturally. No way. Excellent. This tiny phrase is everywhere. Native speakers use it to show surprise, disbelief, excitement, interest. Let's practice. You won the lottery. No way. You met a celebrity. No way. That happened. No way. Perfect. Notice how emotional English often uses very short phrases, and those short phrases make conversations feel alive. Now let's build a complete conversation. Friend. Wow. It's been ages. You. I know. It's been forever. Friend. It's so good to see you. You. You too. Friend. What have you been up to? You. Honestly. A little bit of everything. Friend. Same here. A few minutes later. Friend. Remember those road trips we used to take? You laugh. Those were the days. Friend. I can't believe that happened. You. Me neither. Friend. So, how have you really been? You think for a moment. I've been doing pretty well. Friend smiles. I'm glad to hear that. You smile back. Thanks. Friend. Do you miss those days? You. Sometimes. But I like where I am now. Friend. That's a good way to look at it. Can you hear how natural this sounds? No complicated vocabulary. No textbook language. Just real conversation. Real emotion. Real connection. That's what native speakers do every day. Now take a moment. Think about someone you haven't seen in a long time. A friend. A relative. A former classmate. Imagine meeting them tomorrow. What would you say? Maybe. It's been ages. Maybe. It's so good to see you. Maybe. I've been doing pretty well. Maybe. Those were the days. Create one sentence now. Say it quietly. Excellent. You're doing exactly what fluent speakers do. You're connecting language to real memories. And when English becomes connected to your life, it becomes easier to remember. Let's do a shadowing exercise together. Repeat after me. It's been ages. It's been forever. It's so good to see you. A little bit of everything. Those were the days. I can't believe that happened. I've been doing pretty well. I'm glad to hear that. I like where I am now. No way. Again. It's been ages. It's been forever. It's so good to see you. A little bit of everything. Those were the days. I can't believe that happened. I've been doing pretty well. I'm glad to hear that. I like where I am now. No way. Excellent. Listen to how warm these phrases feel. Not business English. Not classroom English. Human English. The kind of English people use when they reconnect, reflect, remember, and share their lives. The evening is getting later now. Eventually, you and your friend stand up. You promise to stay in touch. You say goodbye. And begin walking home. But the night still isn't finished. Because sometimes a simple conversation can lead to stories about travel, unexpected adventures, and moments that almost didn't go according to plan. And in the next part, you'll discover some of the most useful English phrases people use while traveling, navigating airports, and dealing with the surprises that come with every journey. The conversation with your old friend comes to an end. You stand up from the cafe table. The city lights shimmer around you. For a moment, you feel grateful. Grateful for old memories. Grateful for unexpected meetings. Grateful for the simple moments that make life interesting. As you walk home, your mind drifts toward another memory. A trip you took not long ago. Maybe it was a vacation. Maybe a business trip. Maybe a weekend getaway. Whatever it was, it reminded you of something important. Travel creates conversations everywhere. At airports. On airplanes. At train stations. In hotels. In taxis. At restaurants. And many of the phrases native speakers use while traveling are surprisingly simple. Tonight, let's step into one of the most common travel situations. Imagine you're standing inside a busy airport. The terminal is full of people. Suitcases roll across the floor. Announcements echo through the building. Families are talking. Business travelers are checking their phones. Everyone seems to be going somewhere. You look up at the departure board. Your flight leaves in less than an hour. And suddenly, you realize something. You're running late. Listen carefully. I'm running late. Repeat after me. I'm running late. Again. I'm running late. Now naturally. I'm running late. Excellent. You've heard a similar phrase earlier in today's lesson. But now, it's appearing in a completely different situation. That's how real English works. The same phrase can be useful in many places. Let's practice. I'm running late. Again. I'm running late. Very good. Now imagine you're walking quickly toward security. You check your watch. You check the departure board again. And quietly say, I hope I make it. Listen carefully. I hope I make it. Repeat after me. I hope I make it. Again. I hope I make it. Now naturally. I hope I make it. Excellent. This phrase means, I hope I arrive in time. I hope I don't miss my flight. I hope everything works out. Native speakers use this all the time. Let's practice. The meeting starts in 5 minutes. I hope I make it. My train leaves soon. I hope I make it. Very natural. Now imagine you finally arrive at the gate. Breathing a little faster. The boarding process hasn't started yet. You smile with relief and say, just in time. Listen carefully. Just in time. Repeat after me. Just in time. Again. Just in time. Now naturally. Just in time. Excellent. This phrase is extremely common. It means you arrived at the last possible moment without being late. Let's practice. Just in time. Again. Just in time. Perfect. Imagine, your friend asks, did you almost miss your flight? You laugh. Yeah. I got here just in time. Very natural. Very common. Now let's continue. You're sitting at the gate, waiting to board. A traveler nearby asks, is this seat taken? Listen carefully. Is this seat taken? Repeat after me. Is this seat taken? Again. Is this seat taken? Now naturally. Is this seat taken? Excellent. This is one of the most useful travel phrases you'll ever learn. Airports. Cafes. Restaurants. Waiting rooms. You'll hear it everywhere. Let's practice. Is this seat taken? Again. Is this seat taken? Excellent. You smile and answer. Go ahead. Listen carefully. Go ahead. Repeat after me. Go ahead. Again. Go ahead. Now naturally. Go ahead. Excellent. Native speakers use this phrase constantly. It means, please continue. Please sit down. Please proceed. It's short. Flexible. Very useful. Now imagine boarding begins. People line up. You check your boarding pass. And another phrase appears. Here you go. Listen carefully. Here you go. Repeat after me. Here you go. Again. Here you go. Now naturally. Here you go. Excellent. Native speakers use this whenever they hand something to another person. A ticket, a card, a document, a receipt, anything. Let's practice. Here you go. Again. Here you go. Perfect. Now imagine you're on the airplane. The seatbelt sign turns off. The flight attendant walks by. They ask, "Would you like something to drink?" You smile and answer, "I'll have some water." Listen carefully. I'll have some water. Repeat after me. I'll have some water. Again. I'll have some water. Now naturally. I'll have some water. Excellent. Notice how you're using a phrase from earlier lessons in a completely new environment. That's exactly how language develops. You don't learn thousands of completely new phrases. You learn a smaller group of useful phrases and apply them everywhere. Now, imagine the flight continues. Several hours pass. You look out the window. The sun begins setting. Eventually, the pilot makes an announcement. You're almost there. You smile and quietly say, "We made it." Listen carefully. We made it. Repeat after me. We made it. Again. We made it. Now naturally. We made it. Excellent. This phrase is incredibly common. It means, we arrived successfully. We completed the journey. Everything worked out. Let's practice. We made it. Again. We made it. Excellent. Now imagine you arrive at your destination. You collect your luggage. You walk outside. The air feels different. A little exciting. A little unfamiliar. A little adventurous. Your friend messages you. Did you arrive okay? You answer. Yep. We made it. Simple. Natural. Real. Now let's continue. A taxi driver asks. First time here. Listen carefully. First time here. Repeat after me. First time here. Again. First time here. Now naturally. First time here. Excellent. Notice again how native speakers shorten sentences. Instead of, "Is this your first time visiting this city?" they simply ask, "First time here." Short. Natural. Efficient. You answer, "Actually." Yes. Listen carefully. Actually. Yes. Repeat after me. Actually. Yes. Again. Actually. Yes. Now naturally. Actually. Yes. Excellent. Now imagine the driver starts giving recommendations. Places to visit. Restaurants. Local attractions. After listening, you say, "That sounds amazing." Listen carefully. That sounds amazing. Repeat after me. That sounds amazing. Again. That sounds amazing. Now, naturally. That sounds amazing. Excellent. Native speakers use this phrase constantly when reacting positively to suggestions. Let's practice. That sounds amazing. Again. That sounds amazing. Perfect. Now, let's build a complete airport and travel conversation. Traveler. Are you running late? You? A little. I hope I make it. A few minutes later. Traveler. Looks like you're okay. You. Yeah. Just in time. Traveler. Is this seat taken? You. Nope. Go ahead. Boarding begins. Agent. Boarding pass. Please. You. Sure. Here you go. Several hours later. Friend texts. Did you arrive safely? You smile. We made it. Friend. First time there? You. Actually. Yes. Friend. How is it so far? You. Honestly, it looks great. Friend. Enjoy the trip. You. Thanks. Can you hear how natural that sounds? This is travel English. Not textbook. Travel English. Real travel English. The kind people use every day. Now take a moment. Think about your own travel experiences. Maybe you've flown somewhere recently. Maybe you're planning a future trip. Maybe there's a destination you've always wanted to visit. Imagine yourself there. At the airport. On the plane. At the hotel. What phrase would you use? Maybe? I hope I make it. Maybe. Just in time. Maybe. We made it. Maybe. That sounds amazing. Create one sentence now. Say it quietly. Excellent. Every time you imagine yourself using English in a real situation, you're helping your brain build stronger connections. That's one reason visualization is so powerful. You're not simply learning English. You're experiencing English. Let's do a final shadowing exercise for this section. Repeat after me. I'm running late. I hope I make it. Just in time. Is this seat taken? Go ahead. Here you go. I'll have some water. We made it. First time here. Actually. Yes. That sounds amazing. Again. I'm running late. I hope I make it. Just in time. Is this seat taken? Go ahead. Here you go. I'll have some water. We made it. First time here. Actually. Yes. That sounds amazing. Excellent. Listen to how naturally these phrases fit together. You've now traveled through an entire day using English. Morning conversations. Coffee shops. Work. Phone calls. Lunch. Evening conversations. Old friends. Travel. And something interesting is happening. Many of these phrases probably feel more familiar now. More comfortable. More automatic. That's exactly what we want. Because fluency isn't built through memorization alone. It's built through repetition in meaningful situations. The journey continues. The evening grows quieter. The destination feels peaceful. And in the next part, you'll step into one of the most personal environments of all. Home. A place where some of the warmest, most emotional, and most frequently used English expressions appear every single day. The trip is over. The long day is finally coming to an end. The excitement of travel slowly fades into a feeling of comfort. You unlock your front door, step inside, and immediately feel something different. Home. No matter how busy life becomes, no matter how far you travel, there is something special about coming home. The familiar sounds, the familiar space, the familiar people. And this is where some of the warmest and most natural English conversations happen. Not in meetings, not in airports, not in coffee shops. At home. With family. With the people who know you best. Imagine you walk through the door. A family member looks up and smiles. The first thing they ask is simple. How was your day? Listen carefully. How was your day? Repeat after me. How was your day? Again. How was your day? Now naturally. How was your day? Excellent. This is one of the most common questions in everyday English. Parents ask it. Partners ask it. Friends ask it. People ask it every single day. Let's practice. How was your day? Again. How was your day? Perfect. Now imagine someone asks you this question. What would you say? Native speakers often give simple answers. You might say, "It was pretty good." Listen carefully. "It was pretty good." Repeat after me. "It was pretty good." Again. "It was pretty good." Now naturally. "It was pretty good." Excellent. Simple. Friendly. Natural. Or maybe your day was difficult. You might say, "It was a long day." Listen carefully. "It was a long day." Repeat after me. "It was a long day." Again. "It was a long day." Now naturally. "It was a long day." Excellent. Notice how natural this sounds. Not dramatic. Not overly detailed. Just honest. Now imagine the conversation continues. You sit down. Take off your shoes. Relax for the first time all day. A family member listens carefully and says, "I'm glad you're home." Listen carefully. "I'm glad you're home." Repeat after me. "I'm glad you're home." Again. "I'm glad you're home." Now naturally. "I'm glad you're home." Excellent. This phrase carries warmth, comfort, connection. It reminds us that language is not only about information. Sometimes, language is about making people feel valued. Let's practice. "I'm glad you're home." Again. "I'm glad you're home." Perfect. Now imagine you're talking about something that happened earlier. Maybe work was stressful. Maybe the airport was crowded. Maybe traffic was terrible. You explain the story. And when you finish, someone smiles and says, "That sounds exhausting." Listen carefully. "That sounds exhausting." Repeat after me. "That sounds exhausting." Again. "That sounds exhausting." Now naturally. "That sounds exhausting." Excellent. This phrase shows empathy. It means, "That sounds very tiring." "That sounds difficult." "I understand why you're tired." Native speakers use this kind of emotional language all the time. Let's practice. "That sounds exhausting." Again. "That sounds exhausting." Excellent. Now imagine dinner is ready. Everyone gathers around the table. Conversations become slower, more relaxed. The day is almost over. Someone asks, "What was the best part of your day?" Listen carefully. "The best part of my day." Repeat after me. "The best part of my day." Again. "The best part of my day." Now naturally. "The best part of my day." Excellent. This phrase appears often in family conversations. People reflect. They share moments. They reconnect. Maybe your answer is simple. "The best part of my day was seeing an old friend." Or, "The best part of my day was finishing a project." Or even, "The best part of my day was this dinner." Beautiful. Natural. Real. Now imagine a younger family member starts talking about a challenge. Maybe school. Maybe work. Maybe something personal. They sound a little discouraged. You listen carefully. Then you say, "Take your time." Listen carefully. "Take your time." Repeat after me. "Take your time." Again. "Take your time." Now naturally. "Take your time." Excellent. This phrase is one of the most comforting expressions in English. It means, there's no rush. Go slowly. Don't pressure yourself. Let's practice. Take your time. Again. Take your time. Perfect. And if you think about it, this phrase applies to learning English too. Take your time. You don't have to become fluent next week. You don't have to know everything today. Language grows gradually. Take your time. Now imagine the conversation continues. The younger family member explains their situation. You listen. Then you say, "You'll figure it out." Listen carefully. "You'll figure it out." Repeat after me. "You'll figure it out." Again. "You'll figure it out." Now naturally. "You'll figure it out." Excellent. Earlier in today's lesson, we learned, "We'll figure it out." Now you're learning, "You'll figure it out." Notice how flexible these phrases are. They appear in many situations. That's exactly why they're so useful. Let's practice. You'll figure it out. Again. You'll figure it out. Excellent. This phrase offers encouragement, hope, confidence. Now imagine a parent looks at their child, or a grandparent looks at a grandchild, or maybe a partner looks at someone they love, and they say, "I'm proud of you." Listen carefully. "I'm proud of you." Repeat after me. "I'm proud of you." Again. "I'm proud of you." Now naturally. "I'm proud of you." Excellent. This phrase is powerful. Simple. But powerful? Many people remember hearing these words for years. Because encouragement matters. Let's practice. I'm proud of you. Again. I'm proud of you. Perfect. And maybe right now, as you're listening to this lesson, you should hear those words too. Because learning a language takes effort, consistency, patience. You keep showing up. You keep practicing. You keep improving. And that matters. Now let's continue. The evening grows quieter. Dinner is almost finished. The dishes are cleared away. The conversations become softer. One family member stretches and says, "It's been a long day." Everyone laughs. And someone replies, "Sure has." Listen carefully. Sure has. Repeat after me. Sure has. Again. Sure has. Now naturally. Sure has. Excellent. Native speakers often shorten responses like this. Instead of saying, "It certainly has been a long day," they simply say, "Sure has." Very natural. Very conversational. Now let's build a complete family conversation. Family member. How was your day? You. It was pretty good. Family member. What was the best part? You smile. The best part of my day was seeing an old friend. Family member. That sounds nice. You. It was. Later. Family member. You look tired. You laugh. It was a long day. Family member. That sounds exhausting. You. A little. Family member. Well, I'm glad you're home. You smile. Thanks. A younger family member joins the conversation. I'm worried about something. You listen carefully. Then say, "Take your time." They explain. You nod. You'll figure it out. A parent smiles. I'm proud of you. The room becomes quiet for a moment. Comfortable. Warm. Peaceful. Can you hear how natural this conversation sounds? No advanced vocabulary. No complicated grammar. Just human connection. That's what everyday English often looks like. Simple words. Real emotions. Meaningful moments. Take a moment now. Think about someone important in your life. What would you say to them? Maybe, "I'm glad you're home." Maybe, "Take your time." Maybe, "You'll figure it out." Maybe, "I'm proud of you." Create one sentence quietly in your mind. Excellent. That's how language becomes personal. And personal language is easier to remember. Let's do one final shadowing exercise together. Repeat after me. How was your day? It was pretty good. It was a long day. I'm glad you're home. That sounds exhausting. The best part of my day. Take your time. You'll figure it out. I'm proud of you. Sure has. Again. How was your day? It was pretty good. It was a long day. I'm glad you're home. That sounds exhausting. The best part of my day. Take your time. You'll figure it out. I'm proud of you. Sure has. Excellent. Listen to the warmth in those phrases. This is the language of home. The language of relationships. The language people use when they care about one another. And as the evening grows later, the conversations become quieter. The lights become softer. The day begins settling into memory. Soon you'll have a chance to reflect on everything you've experienced, everything you've learned, everything you've practiced. And in the next part, you'll connect all of today's English together and begin to notice something important. Many of these phrases are no longer just phrases. They're becoming part of the way you think. The house is quiet now. Dinner is over. The dishes have been put away. The conversations that filled the evening have slowly faded into silence. Outside, the city continues moving. Cars pass in the distance. Streetlights glow softly. But inside, everything feels calm, peaceful. The kind of peace that arrives at the end of a full day. A day that began with coffee, continued through work, moved through challenges, phone calls, friends, travel, family, and now, finally, reflection. This is one of the most important moments in language learning. Not because you're learning something new, but because you're noticing what you've already learned. And sometimes that's even more important. Take a slow breath. Think back to the beginning of today's journey. This morning you woke up and said, "I'm still waking up." You needed coffee. You were running a little late. At that moment, those phrases may have felt unfamiliar. Now they probably feel much more natural. Then you stepped into a coffee shop. You ordered confidently. "Could I get a coffee?" "I'll have a latte." "That's all for now." Sounds good. Little by little, English started becoming part of the story. Then came work. Morning conversations. Projects. Deadlines. Meetings. You learned phrases like, "I'll take care of it." "I've got a lot on my plate." "That's a good point." "That makes sense." You weren't learning random vocabulary. You were learning how real people communicate. Then something went wrong. A problem appeared. Maybe a frozen computer. Maybe a deadline. Maybe an unexpected challenge. And instead of panic, you learned calm responses. "That's frustrating." "No worries. We'll figure it out." "That could work." Again, these weren't just phrases. They were tools. Tools people use every day. Then lunch arrived. The pace slowed down. Conversations became lighter. You learned. "What have you been up to?" "Not much." "Pretty much." "Can't complain." Simple language. Useful language. Human language. Then came the phone call. "Can you hear me?" "You're breaking up." "I didn't catch that." "Hold on a second." Real-life communication. The kind people use constantly. After work, the day changed again. You were tired. Maybe exhausted. You grabbed something to eat. You reflected on the day. You learned. It was a lot. I hear you. Take it easy. And those phrases carried emotion, not just meaning. Emotion. Then you stepped into the gym. A place of effort. Improvement. Progress. You heard. Keep it up. You're doing great. One step at a time. That's what matters. And if you think about it, those phrases apply perfectly to learning English. Keep it up. You're doing great. One step at a time. That's what matters. Then an old friend appeared. Unexpectedly. And suddenly you were talking about memories. It's been ages. Those were the days. I've been doing pretty well. I like where I am now. Notice how different those phrases feel. They're not about tasks. They're about life. Connection. Experience. Identity. Then came travel. Airports. Flights. New places. New experiences. You learned. I hope I make it. Just in time. We made it. That sounds amazing. And finally, home. The most personal place of all. How was your day? I'm glad you're home. Take your time. I'm proud of you. The language of relationships. The language of belonging. The language people use when they care. And now, sitting quietly at the end of the day, something important becomes clear. You didn't spend this lesson memorizing grammar rules. You didn't spend this lesson studying complicated vocabulary. You spent this lesson living through English. That's a very different experience. Because real fluency isn't built from isolated words. It's built from meaningful experiences. Think about how children learn language. They don't begin with grammar books. They begin with situations, moments, feelings, conversations, experiences. And that's exactly what you've been doing today. You followed English through an entire day. A realistic day. A believable day. A human day. And because of that, the language has context. The language has meaning. The language has life. Take another slow breath. Now I want you to imagine something. Imagine yourself 6 months from now. Not perfect. Not fluent in every situation. Not speaking like a movie star. Just more comfortable. More confident. More natural. Imagine hearing, "How was your day?" and answering immediately. Imagine ordering coffee without hesitation. Imagine making small talk comfortably. Imagine understanding more of what you hear. Imagine speaking without translating every sentence. Can you picture that version of yourself? Good. Because that version is not created through magic. It's created through repetition. Small steps. Daily exposure. Consistent practice. The exact things you're doing right now. Many learners believe fluency arrives suddenly. One day, they struggle. The next day, they're fluent. But that's not how it works. Fluency grows quietly. Like a plant. Like a habit. Like a friendship. You often don't notice it while it's happening. Then one day you realize, wait, I understood that. Wait, I knew exactly what to say. Wait, I didn't translate that sentence. And that's when you discover something surprising. You've been improving all along. Even when it didn't feel dramatic. Even when progress seemed slow. Progress was happening. The same thing is true for physical fitness. The same thing is true for learning music. The same thing is true for almost every meaningful skill. Improvement happens quietly. One repetition at a time. One day at a time. One lesson at a time. And that's why phrases matter. Because phrases become habits. Habits become confidence. Confidence becomes fluency. Let's pause and do something important. I want you to repeat a few thoughts with me, not because they're magical, but because they're useful reminders. Repeat after me. I am improving every day. Again. I am improving every day. I don't need perfect English. Again. I don't need perfect English. I need consistent English. Again. I need consistent English. Every phrase I learn makes me stronger. Again. Every phrase I learn makes me stronger. I can communicate. Again. I can communicate. I can keep improving. Again. I can keep improving. Excellent. Notice how those statements feel. Calm. Supportive. Realistic. Because language learning should not feel like punishment. It should feel like growth. And growth takes time. Take a moment now. Think about all the phrases you've learned today. Which one feels most useful? Which one sounds most natural? Which one can you imagine using tomorrow? Maybe it's sounds good. Maybe we'll figure it out. Maybe I hear you. Maybe take your time. Maybe I'm proud of you. Choose one phrase. Just one. And imagine yourself using it tomorrow. That's enough. You don't need to master 100 phrases overnight. You need to use one phrase naturally. Then another. Then another. One step at a time. Remember that phrase. One step at a time. That's what matters. And if you've stayed with me through this entire journey, I want you to know something. You're doing exactly what successful language learners do. You're showing up. You're listening. You're practicing. You're building familiarity. You're building confidence. And most importantly, you're building a relationship with English. Not as a school subject. Not as a test. But as a living language. A language that can become part of your daily life. As the evening becomes quieter and the day slowly comes to a close, there's one final thought waiting for us. A simple idea, but perhaps the most important idea of all. Because fluency is not only about what you know, it's about who you're becoming. And in the final part of our journey together, we'll explore that idea and bring everything you've learned today into one final moment of confidence, reflection, and growth. The day is almost over. The house is quiet. The lights are soft. Outside, the world continues moving. But here, in this moment, everything feels calm. You sit comfortably. Maybe in a chair. Maybe on a couch. Maybe lying in bed. And for the first time all day, there is nothing you need to do. No deadlines. No meetings. No emails. No rushing. Just a quiet moment to reflect. And as you think back on everything you've experienced today, something interesting begins to happen. You realize this lesson was never really about coffee, or work, or travel, or even English phrases. Those were simply the vehicles. The real lesson was something deeper. The real lesson was about becoming comfortable inside the language. Because, if you think about it, every situation we explored today had one thing in common. People. People connecting. People helping. People sharing. People encouraging. People living ordinary lives. And language exists for exactly that purpose. Not to impress people. Not to pass exams. Not to memorize rules. But to connect. To express. To understand. To belong. And perhaps that's the most important thing to remember about English. English is not a subject. English is a tool. A bridge. A way to participate in conversations. Opportunities. Friendships. Experiences. and moments that would otherwise remain out of reach. Take a slow breath and think about how much English you've already used today. You woke up and described your morning. You ordered coffee. You talked with coworkers. You solved problems. You made phone calls. You met an old friend. You traveled. You connected with family. And through all of those experiences, English followed you naturally. Not because you forced it. Because it belonged there. Now imagine something. Imagine that tomorrow morning begins exactly the same way. The alarm rings. You open your eyes. And instead of translating everything in your head, a phrase appears automatically. I'm still waking up. Then you make coffee. I could use some coffee. Later, someone asks how you're doing. Pretty good. A problem appears. We'll figure it out. A friend calls. Can you hear me? The workday ends. I'm exhausted. You meet someone you haven't seen in years. It's been ages. You come home. How was your day? Can you see what is happening? The phrases are beginning to fit naturally into real life. And that is exactly how fluency grows. Not through memorizing giant lists. Not through studying for 12 hours a day. But through familiarity. Repetition. Comfort. The gradual transformation of language from something you study into something you use. Many learners spend years believing that fluency is a destination. A finish line. A magical point where suddenly everything becomes easy. But real fluency is different. Fluency is a process. A relationship. Something you build over time. Think about someone you know well. A close friend. A family member. You didn't become comfortable with them in a single day. You spent time together. You shared experiences. You created familiarity. Language works the same way. The more experiences you share with English, the more natural English becomes. And that's why today's lesson matters. Because you didn't simply learn phrases. You shared experiences with English. Morning experiences. Work experiences. Travel experiences. Family experiences. Real experiences. And each one moved you a little closer to confidence. A little closer to fluency. A little closer to becoming the person you want to be. Let's pause for a moment. Close your eyes if you'd like. Imagine yourself 6 months from now. You wake up. Start your day. And English feels different. Not perfect. But familiar. You understand more than you do today. You hesitate less than you do today. You speak more naturally than you do today. You trust yourself more than you do today. People ask questions. And answers come more easily. You watch videos. And understand more. You have conversations. And feel calmer. You make mistakes. But they don't scare you anymore. Because mistakes are no longer evidence of failure. They're evidence of participation. Evidence that you're actually using the language. And that's where real growth happens. Not in perfection. In participation. The most fluent people in the world are not the people who never make mistakes. They're the people who keep communicating despite mistakes. They keep showing up. They keep speaking. They keep learning. And that's exactly what you're doing. Take another slow breath. Now I'd like you to repeat a few statements with me. Not as grammar practice. Not as pronunciation practice. But as reminders. Repeat after me. English is becoming part of my life. Again. English is becoming part of my life. I don't need to know everything. Again. I don't need to know everything. I only need to keep improving. Again. I only need to keep improving. Every conversation helps me grow. Again. Every conversation helps me grow. Every phrase I learn has value. Again. Every phrase I learn has value. I can communicate. Again. I can communicate. I am becoming more confident. Again. I am becoming more confident. English is becoming natural for me. Again. English is becoming natural for me. Excellent. Notice how those words feel. Not dramatic. Not unrealistic. Just possible. Achievable. True. Because confidence doesn't come from pretending to be fluent. Confidence comes from recognizing your progress. And you've made progress today. Maybe more than you realize. Think about all the phrases you've practiced. Many of them felt unfamiliar at first. Now they feel familiar. And that's proof. Proof that learning is happening. Proof that your brain is adapting. Proof that repetition works. This is why consistency matters more than intensity. A little practice every day. A little exposure every day. A little improvement every day. Those small efforts create extraordinary results over time. Just like exercise. Just like reading. Just like any worthwhile skill. One step at a time. Remember that phrase. One step at a time. It appeared earlier in today's lesson. And perhaps it's the phrase that best represents the entire journey. One step at a time. One conversation at a time. One phrase at a time. One day at a time. That's how fluency grows. Not all at once. Gradually. Quietly. Consistently. As the evening becomes even quieter, I want to leave you with one final thought. You are no longer simply someone who studies English. You are someone who uses English. Maybe only a little today. Maybe more tomorrow. Maybe much more in the future. But the transformation has already started. Because every time you listen, every time you repeat, every time you think in English, every time you create a sentence of your own, you are actively participating in the language. And participation is the path to fluency. Not perfection. Participation. So tonight, as you relax and reflect on everything you've learned, remember this. You don't have to become fluent tomorrow. You don't have to know every word. You don't have to speak perfectly. You only need to continue. Keep listening. Keep practicing. Keep showing up. Keep believing that progress is possible. Because it is. And if you continue taking small steps forward, day after day, conversation after conversation, phrase after phrase, you'll eventually look back and realize something remarkable. The English that once felt difficult has become familiar. The English that once felt intimidating has become comfortable. And the English that once felt like a foreign language has become part of your life. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Thank you for practicing. Thank you for showing up for yourself. Keep it up. You're doing great. Take your time. You'll figure it out. And remember, one phrase at a time. One conversation at a time. One confident English